former House Speaker K-Mac is here. All right, your reaction to the Democrat struggle session, K-Mac.
Well, the thing that gets me is here's Tapper, who anytime he went on CNN, he would attack you to defend the Democrats. You know what this guy would do? He would text me late at night if he thought one of my tweets was wrong. I mean, he'd just attack me that way. And now to get out front and say he apologizes all this, and then you got Morning Joe. This guy has taken every position possible. He was an elected right-wing conservative congressman who leaves. He's shifted to be far left. He's the one who attacked me the most when I first came out and said Joe Biden mentally was not there. He would everything that he could to go after. He never apologized for that. And the thing that you have to really see that Democrats are falling so hard, look at the viewership of MSNBC. They're changing their own newscasters and it's dropping 40%. It's because no one believes what the Democrats say. These are the same people that would defend the laptop and say, you know, it was a false. The same people that would go after the Russia collusion and not only go after it, they'd give the most prestigious awards to those in the media that would claim it. I mean, it's out. They have been broken. I don't think they're going to get back with these same people. The public knows they have lied. And to get that foundation and get that trust back, it's going to take new people.
Did you ever meet Rahm Emanuel? Because Rambo's the savior.
Now, I've done many debates with Rahm. When he was ambassador, I thought he actually did a very good job. Now, this is the thing you have to understand with Rahm. Rahm is tough. Rahm is in your face. He has a reputation like that. Remember, his brother, Ari, was the agent for Donald Trump when he was doing Apprentice. And remember, his brother actually owned the UFC. Now, if I was a Democrat and I wanted to recruit, you know what I'd do? I'd take my top recruits to a UFC match. Whoever got applause, I'd say, these are the people who can lead. And so I will tell you, Rahm is more honest. I think he would be a formidable candidate, and I think he wants to run.
That's a great idea. To recruit, take him to a UFC fight and see who gets the biggest applause. You know what? I don't want him to even listen. I just ignore that. Ignore that. K-Mac, great to see you.
Always good to see you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.